Hello, this is David Hilster. I'm a critical thinker, dissident scientist, and if you are not science woke, then this is the place for you. There are literally thousands and thousands of scientists from around the world who have been working for decades outside the mainstream, who have identified problems, fixed those problems, and who are proposing new theories and models. You won't find anything like this on YouTube, so you want to make sure you go down below and click the subscribe button and the little bell next to it, and you'll be alerted to when our next video drops. Well, this is the second in my series called Everything That's Wrong in Physics. The first one was photons, and my goodness, is that a mess. And if you think the photon page on Wikipedia is a mess, then you're in a real treat. Try to get through the string theory one of the page on, you will just die. Yes, the string theory on Wikipedia is in huge embarrassment scientifically to mankind. I just hope to goodness no extraterrestrials who are more advanced intellectually and scientifically get here before we throw all this garbage out. But the string theory is certainly one of them. And just take a look at the first sentence. You don't have to start anywhere, but just look at the first sentence. This is from Wikipedia. You know, this doesn't even make pseudoscience to me. This is more like scientists on heavy hallucinogenic drugs. That's what this should be under in Wikipedia. Okay, in physics, string theory is a theoretical framework in which the point-like particles of particle physics are replaced by one-dimensional objects called strings. Now, a string is, you know, it's sort of like almost at least two dimensions, but how could it be one dimension? In point-like particles, what's point-like? It's not a point, it's a point? I don't get the point. It's just full. I mean, read this, folks. This is supposedly, and then they tell you you're stupid because you don't understand it. It's unintelligible. I've been telling you that. It's not that their claims that we are stupid and what they write just like this because you're just not smart enough. You got to go. No, you just got to go there and pretend to understand it because it's impossible. It's full of illogical things everywhere, paradoxes, things that conflict. I mean, point-like particles, one-dimensional, and then it says describes how string propagates through space. How could this is the next sentence? So one-dimensional? Well, you know, two-dimensional. We don't even have two-dimensional in the real world. We have three dimensions. That's it. Three. Not even two. We can have I won't even get into that. Okay, on distant scales larger than a string scale, a string looks just like an ordinary particle. This is sort of, I will tell you, Harry Potter's science is way more logical than this. Let's just keep going. I got lots of slides today. Let's keep going. I'm going to start in that third word there. Despite much work on these problems, it is not known to what extent string theory describes the real world or how much freedom the theory allows in the choices of its details. Okay, there's two parts of the sentence. First part, congratulations. You're actually saying something that is close to being a real scientist, and that is, it is not known whether to what extent string theory describes the real world. Of course, then you have the question, well, why are you doing it? Anyways, and how, then it says the real world, or how much freedom the theory allows in the choice of its details. Okay, maybe a little bit of marijuana at this point, not quite LSD. We got the LSD parts coming up. I mean, I can only describe it. The only way I can humanly describe these kinds of things existing in Wikipedia and existing at all in physics today is that people are getting high and then they write these things. That's all I can't. All right, let's keep going here. String theory was first studied in the late 1960s. They write this. I didn't write this. I didn't write this. First studied. Think about it. Think about it. Okay, use your critical mind. Was first studied. Oh, well then who came up with it? If it was, what'd they do? Find string theory tablets from ancient astronauts somewhere? And then they like, oh, look, we found it. We found it. It was written on an orb. And Let me study it. It was creative, folks. People sat down and they decided, I'll talk about that at the end of this. So stay tuned. I'll tell you really what happened. Okay? But that's just, I'm not going to read the rest because that was the part I wanted to show in this. Because there's just so much here. I could spend 7 days telling you how bad this is. And here of course, is a picture. The fundamental objects of string theory are open and closed string models. I thought they were dimensionless or one-dimensional. Do you think there's some internal paradoxes in their theory at all? And what are strings made out of? Atoms? Smaller atoms? What holds them together? Oh, they don't talk about infinity like we do. Okay. Anyways, extra dimensions. This is really fun. It's always fun. And this is where a lot of intellectuals grab a hold of modern physics and cosmology and try to make everyone else look stupid. And this is where critical thinkers we expose intellectuals as being stupid. In everyday life, there are 3 familiar. Are there unfamiliar ones? You know, me and my wife, we never studied physics, but we were walking along one day, and I was I was commenting to her about the 3 dimensions that were pretty familiar. And then I thought, what about those unfamiliar ones? Dimension of space, height, width, and length, or X, Y, and Z, what do you want to call it? Einstein's general relativity treats time as a dimension on par with three spatial dimensions. In general relativity, space-time are not modeled as separate entities, but instead unified into 4-dimensional space-time, which of course is absurd, and we've talked about this a lot. There's only 3 dimensions, this whole idea of space-time. This is why I say in our upcoming Science Woke website that in fact we are in a model revolution, because these won't do. This just shows us we are loster than lust. In this framework, the phenomenon of gravity is viewed as a consequence of geometrical space. Extra dimensions. Well, how many dimensions do they have? I don't know. Let's just take a look. Oh, here's one. An example of compactification. At large distance, a 2-dimensional surface. I'm a linguist. We try to understand why we invent words, why we have words like surface, whatever. And it says here that it's a 2-dimensional surface. No, surfaces are the top of, bottom of, side of something that's real in 3 dimensions. If we're talking about mathematics, it's not the physical world. With a 1-dimensional, a 2-dimensional surface with a 1-dimensional look, with 1 circular dimension, looks 1-dimensional. Man, we're getting to LSD. We're getting there. We're doing the hard stuff. Maybe heroin. It's amazing. One notable feature of string theory is that these theories require extra-dimensional space. Here we go. This is of space-time for the mathematical consistency. You notice they say mathematical consistency. Who the heck cares? We know that math is not physics. Math is a system we come up to try to model something in a very crude way. But math is not physics. So the extra dimensions are required for mathematics, not for the physical world. Does that seem stupid to you when you're talking about a theory that's supposedly a framework for the universe? Okay, let's keep going because it just gets worse. Is bosonic string theory. Oh, yeah. In bosonic string theory, space-time is 26-dimensional, while the superstring theory, it is 10-dimensional. I think I'm sure all my subscribers and all you critical thinkers are thinking of that. Let me think about that. Yeah, it's 26. I mean, that's a big debate, and I think we should spend lots of time of our human minds to even try to discuss 11 versus. It's crazy, folks. 3. There are 3. There are 3. And in M theory, it is these guys get together in conventions around the world and talk about this. I mean, I could probably go in there and just record everything, put it into a movie, and people who are lucid and critical thinkers, engineering types that believe in real physics in the world, they're just not going to believe these people are sane in any way. Okay, so if we can't describe it mathematically, here it is. This is a cross section. Okay, it's a cross section. So probably these red parts are like where you cut it or something like that. Maybe, maybe not. This is a cross section of a quintic Calabi-Yau manifold. I'm sure that's named out of Calabi-Yau. Okay, so this is, okay, it's a two-dimensional picture of something 3 dimensions, like I always say, because it's shaded. So I see 3 dimensions here. Let's see what they say. Compactification can be used to construct models of space-time effectively 4-dimensional. However, not every way of compactifying the extra dimensions produce a model with the right properties to describe nature. I just laugh because I can't believe they write this stuff with a straight face. In a viable model of particle physics, the compact extra dimensions must be shaped like a Calabi-Yau manifold. A Calabi-Yau manifold is a special space which is typically taken to be 6-dimensional applications to the string theory. It is named for these mathematicians, and they probably have plaques for all this and stuff. Are you getting the picture that this is crazy? Are you getting it yet? Okay, well, there's so much. There's this duality. So you see this type 1 heterotic, and you have M theory, and of course you have things in front of it. You have type 11A and type 11B, and it says the diagram of string theory dualities. Yellow arrows indicate S duality, blue arrows indicate T duality. We're definitely in the LSD area now. I mean, absolutely. This, I think, is proof that we need to start a big rehabilitation project with our theoretical physics to get them off of hallucinogenic drugs. Brains. Well, brains, I think, aren't these the things that, like, 2 of them tap together, then it starts a big bang, and they're like parallel stuff, and we're in one of them, and the string theory and other related theories. I thought that modern physics has one theory. What's going on? Okay. Brain is a fixed object that generalizes the notion of a point particle to higher dimensions. For instance, a point particle can be viewed as a brane of dimension 0, while a string can be viewed as a brane of dimension 1. Yeah. I may just go to one of these conferences. I've never done LSD or any hard drugs at all. This must be cool. I want to just sit around and I want to know what the guys who are writing this are doing to come up. I'm not even interested in their theory. I'm interested in the psychological aspect of people who come up with this stuff. I'm not even going to go on. That's enough. Unification of superstring theories. Of course, there's string theories and superstring theories because, I studied it, and I got to get my name on something here. And of course, you have the M theory, and you've got all those things that we saw before, but now they're like tugging at this like amoeba-like thing, like on SpongeBob or something like that. And M theory is being tugged by all the characters or something like that. This is the illustrating the relationship between M theory and superstring theory, and I was going through this, keeping going, but I started to pretty much give up. So I said, let's just skip down a little ways. And of course, one of the things they always say is that string theory helps us because in the middle of black holes, Einstein's general relativity, which if you read this, it's like Newton. I mean, they treat general relativity as like, a bicycle compared to one of our spaceships of today. It's just amazing. In general relativity, black holes defined by a region of space-time in which gravitational field is so strong that no particle or radiation can escape. In the currently accepted models of stellar evolution, black holes are thought to arise from massive stars undergoing gravitational collapse. Blah, 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 blah. String theory has proven to be an important tool for investigating the theoretical properties of black holes because it provides a framework in which theorists can study their thermodynamics. That's one of the things you'll hear all the science evangelists talk about, is that string theory, why do we need it? Because general relativity and relativity breaks down before the Big Bang and it breaks down in the middle of black holes. Nope, our theories are broken. Our scientists are all on I can't even say it. I'm starting to, that's it. You read this stuff, you don't need to take drugs. I can't even talk now. Connections to mathematics. In addition to influencing research in theoretical physics, string theory has stimulated a number of major developments in pure mathematics. The reason I'm talking to you about this, because I love math, is because this is really quite ironic, because the truth of the matter is string theory is only math. So the idea that it's, in addition to influencing research, it's all math. It's not made. Everything it's done is math. Everything is developed. And oh yeah, maybe we've had to come up with, what they're trying to say is they come up with new math. But string theory is only math. Well, let's just put this to rest. I'm tired of this. You can read this yourself, but let me make a few closing comments here. Number one, string theory summary. And I want to tell you things that aren't there and you can't find them. I've looked for them. Let's just summarize. Why does this string theory exist? They tried to make the universe out of one particle and they called that the string. That's why they did it. They sat around and they said, hey, I'm going to try to put this, let's just make can we make the whole universe out of one particle? What would one thing and what it would look like? It's completely a mathematical exercise. In fact, the originators of the string theory are horrified to this day that this page exists at all, because it was just a mathematical exercise. They're going, this isn't real physics. The people who started it isn't. It's like the neutrino. They've thrown away the origin. Well, I'm talking ahead of myself. There's zero physicality, yet they claim physicality. You can see that all the time. Oh, if you look at it like far away, it's like, I can't remember. If you look at it close, does it look like the one dimension pops into 3 or 2 or 2 to 3? Or is it if you look far away that, of course, there's 11 to 26 dimensions. Well, actually, it should be 10. Hey, that other one has 10. We can go, wow. Particle physics, has 19 to 27 free variables? Same problem. String is one-dimensional, but if you look at them from far away, they have more dimensions. Yeah, I said that, yeah. Open and closed strings, you saw those, but they're one-dimensional. But maybe if you look at them, maybe if it's Tuesday and you drank a beer and then the creators have been obscured and were horrified in the 1990s, to see strings taken so seriously. Yeah, I saw that and I can't find it. It's almost like they go back and they erase the history of this stuff, because if you read it, the people, would be like Einstein saying, well, I do not understand this idea of relativity was just a mind experiment, yet they take me so seriously. Hey, that's not too bad. Anyways, in conclusion, critical thinkers versus strings. Strings look insane compared to today's dissonant theories, and they say our theories look insane. Oh, that the universe is made up of a lattice. What's different from that from 11 to 26 dimensions? Well, a lattice is real. Oh, a string theory is an embarrassment to human endeavor to construct model of the universe. Sorry, misspelling there. My program doesn't have underlining, misspelling. Construct models of the universe. We're not going to do this over just for that. Particle, ether, and lattice models are magnitudes of levels simpler than those theories. We and the dissonant models are physical and sane. And they're self-consistent. And they don't have paradoxical problems. And they call us pseudoscience. We can't even put these models into the Wikipedia. We have to make our own. Yet, look at the string theory, folks. Don't take my word for it. Go to this page and read it. I've got a degree in mathematics. This stuff is insane. Don't take my word for it. Stay critical. Stay thinking. I'm Dave D. Hilster. I'm your science therapist trying to get you science woke. Ciao for now.